Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Marcus from Shattered Sun and Ill Nino, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Hey, you are listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I am Bruce.
And I'm the far sexier one, Chris.
Well, we don't have our partner here today. We're going to be missing Rena, but I think she called you numbnuts. I don't know about the far sexier one.
Well, numbnuts in Norway. No, Finland. Oh, yeah.
Finland, yes. She's going to smack you next time she's here.
Numbnuts in Finland translate to sexiest man alive.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then, Jesus. At any rate, we're going to be missing her today for sure because she adds a certain, quality to this. Yeah, that.
See, I'm pulling out a little French Canadian there for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Je ne sais quoi.
Today we're going to be chatting with Marcos from Shattered Sun, and I know you had a chance to listen to him this morning. I'm good friends with Marcos. He's been a really good guy over the years and done some really cool stuff. What do you think of the music?
Dude, it was a killer band, and one thing I really liked about their Facebook page is how they're a little bit more personal than a lot of bands with their fans. Yeah. And I see they have a show coming up on Halloween. I'm kind of wondering how they're going to pull that off. It says it's an all ages show, and they're going to have playground equipment for kids, and it's interesting. I just wonder how they're going to pull it off. So I would like to.
Hello. Hey, Marcos, how are you, man?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. Long time no talk. I got my partner Chris on the line.
How you doing?
What's going on, Chris?
Doing good, not much. Just hanging out in the studio.
Oh, I know. I'm reeling this morning, man. My Cowboys just got annihilated last night on Monday Night Football. So
does that mean you also got annihilated?
You know what? When the games turn like that, I usually stop drinking because I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to have a hangover tomorrow for this.
Right. How you been, my friend?
I've been great, man. I've been busy. Very fortunate to be busy. Between both bands, I've just kind of been on a roll right now. Shatter just dropped a new record, and Ill Nino's getting ready to put out some singles and announce a new record deal. So I've been very busy, very thankful to be busy.
How are you managing all of that in the midst of all this and then still trying to be the family man?
Oh, man, it's me and my fiance, Michelle, were actually just talking about that last night. And, I think it was something that I had to accept, mainly with Ill Nino, because it was something that I needed to travel and I needed to go to other states to get things done. And, I've been working. I'm a truck driver as well for my father's company, and I've been working through the pandemic since the very beginning. And I've been fortunate to have the top of the line, N95 masks and all of these things at my disposal. So I just said, hey, I'm going to apply the same mindset and caution that I do in work, to having to travel. So at the end of the day, man, it like you said, it's about my family, and it's about taking care of them, and whatever I have to do to put food on the table and continue to provide for them, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
How was that for you? This is kind of not music related, but at the start of the pandemic, when shit was just going absolutely crazy and no one had any idea what was happening or what to do or how to deal with it, how did that affect you personally? Because you were a truck driver and you were essential, like without you, things could not carry on.
Yeah, it was like a double kick in the nuts, man, because I'm from a really small town. Corpus Christi is where we're based out of, but I'm from a town 30 minutes from there called Alice, and it was the first time that I was ever actually scared because we don't panic easy down here, man. We're country folks.
Yeah.
And when I was in our local supermarket and I saw people panic buying and the fear in people's eyes, that was the first time I was like, holy shit, like this is
real.
Yeah, this is real. And on top of my work that I do for my father's company, truck driving and moving equipment and essential items all over South Texas, I was had 4 tours on the books for Shattered Sun. I had another 3 on the books for El Nino. I mean, personally, myself, I lost about $40,000.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean?
Yeah.
God.
Between just in touring, you know, and you know, it was tough, but you know, I had to tell myself after a while, just like any business and every business out here, you got to readjust. You got to figure it out, and you know, we're in the process of doing that.
Yeah, I see that you guys have a show coming up there in Corpus Christi. How did that come about? And I see that you're gonna have like all ages, and there's gonna be playground equipment and stuff.
Yeah, so there's this place in Corpus Christi that is called Brewster Street Ice House. It holds about 1,200 people. We've had the awesome fortune to sell that out a few times, you know, at the capacity of 1,200. But they decided to start doing shows for country and Tejano bands, social distance. They capped the place out at 260 people. It's seated, it's spaced, it's you know, at first we were kind of like, no, well, that's not metal. You know what I mean? That's not what we're about. So it's just kind of like, you know, you got to hold off. But then you see countless, you know, country bands and Tejano bands just, you know, just doing it. And I'm like, well, why the fuck can't we do that? You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand metal is a crowd driven thing and, you know, the camaraderie that comes with that. But like I said earlier, man, business has got to readjust. And, you know, this is our first attempt at kind of doing that. On top of, you know, we invested a lot of money into our new album, Bled For You, and a lot of other people invested money into it. And sitting back and just saying, well, you know, I guess the label's just going to make all the money and we can't make any on ourselves. It's, you know, it was a tough pill to swallow, man. And we refused to do it.
Yeah, well, the record sounds killer. I was just listening to it this morning before we got on.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys' support.
To be honest, Bruce has known you for a long time, but this is the first time I've ever heard you. So the first track I listened to was Bled For You, which fucking kicked me right in the nuts. The sound quality from a record, like I'm an audio engineer by trade, and the sound quality was just amazing. Like it was so good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we definitely,
it was good.
We put a lot of emphasis on the production and the quality, because I think one thing that I've learned as an artist, and this was something I learned from Chuck Billy, you know, in our first record and our second record, you know, even to this day, I love those records, but as a musician inside, I was never able to get that complete fulfillment, like out of the album. You know, there's always something that I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have done this, or man, maybe if we would have took it to this guy, it would have sounded a little better. Or, you know, we're trying to penny pinch or this and that. And on this record, we were like, no, like if we're gonna have to live with this record forever,
yeah,
like it needs, and this is gonna be our best work. It needs to sound the best as it could be, and we spared no expense, man, and we had a very great team behind it, and that's why it sounds as good as it does, man. I appreciate you guys saying that.
Yeah, and I was going through your Facebook page, and you were doing stories about what the songs were about, really.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of bands do that, where they kind of give, like a lot of bands are like, oh, I just want people to interpret the song and not really give them a backstory about why they wrote it. But the story of Letters to the Grave was kind of touching, man. Like that's hard shit to go through.
Yeah, man. Know? And you know what the thing is that like, I know that there's so many people out there, and you know, not to be so vague, because I do like people to interpret it the way that they want to, but I also know that everybody has somebody that they wish that they could just talk to one more time, you know? And
absolutely. Hell yeah.
You know, you know, looking back on it, like, you know, I'm 32 years old now, looking back on it when I was a kid going through that. And I think of like, you know, my daughter, like losing, you know, when it happens, you know, when my dad passes and my daughter, who's super close to my dad, has to go through that, to be at the age of like 7 or 8 and writing out these emotions and, you know, putting them away and not really knowing what to do with them. You know, looking back on it, it's pretty pretty crazy. And I know that a lot of people feel that way too. And I'm just glad that that story can help people. It seems to really help a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of messages about that.
Yeah, no, I just found it really interesting that you are willing to open up about that and share it with your fans. I mean, it's not something you see a lot of people do, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that comes from where we're from. You know what I mean? And not to get too deep into this, but where we're from instills a lot of values in the way we are, the way we portray ourselves. And I think as a band, as Shattered Sun, we've always been the small town kids that got a big opportunity and kind of ran with it. And that's never changed us. It's never changed who we are. And I'm glad that you and other people can open up and see that I'm really coming from the heart. We're really coming from the heart with this record.
Nice. Bruce?
Yeah, so I mean, you touched on it a little bit, but at the end of the day, when you're getting those emails, what does it feel like to know that you actually like connected with somebody on something on a much deeper level beyond like the riff or the drums? Or
it's everything to me, man, because I was that kid. You know what I mean? Maybe not emailing people, but
Right.
I come from the generation of I would get the record and I'd run home and the first thing I do was read every lyric to every
Hell
song.
yeah.
Connect to the ones that are me. You know what I mean? And you build these stories or you build these connections in your head. And that's why to this day, I still love and cherish some of those songs. So to have people, have that same reaction, to my music, that's bigger to me than any festival, than any check, than anything. That's the biggest accolade that we could be given as a band. And that means the world to me.
So here's a question for you, and I don't know if it's really applicable, but do you find that now that you're not on the road and you've got more time to, I guess, interact with people, you find yourself connecting more because you don't have that 600 or 600,000 person crowd and the big barrier in between? People have direct access to you now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's something that even, before the pandemic, that was the thing that was our bread and butter. I mean, ask anybody that has come to see us at the big rock festivals or at the small club shows. We've always been the band to, right after we get off stage, we're going to crack a few beers, go to merch, and literally hang out, and just meet everybody. So we've always been in touch with that side of our fans. But now, like I said, you have to adjust. It's all about interacting, and it's all about making the fans, especially when you can't go out and tour. I mean, the tour that we like I said, we had 4 tours booked for this record, and we had to move them all. Or the one that we were going to do with Testament, I think that one's just not going to happen anymore because
Right.
But it's you have to kind of imagine that, or you can't give the fans that. So you have to give them something else, no matter what it is, like stories about me and my grandfather. I mean, stories about my love for the Cowboys, on some of the songs, and any way that I can touch and reach out to these people. That's what I'm about right now.
And again, here's another odd one, but I know you don't have a crystal ball, but we've kind of been talking to people while we do these podcasts. Where do you see the music business landing on the other side of this? It's obviously going to have to change.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is it's kind of been changing, and the cool thing is with our new record label, going from a record label like Victory to a more independent label that we're on right now. I think the key thing that the record label head, Robert Beltran, always tells me is, there's no fucking rules. Like, there is no rules. So yes, things are going to have to change. We've already moved our tours to next year. We're going to announce a tour in April and May. We don't know what it's going to, if it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen, if we're going to have to do it social distance. All we know is that we got to put ourselves out there and we got to adjust to the new business model. And whether that be social distance shows or fucking campfire shows or you name it, we're going to go fucking play it.
Nice. I miss live music so much, man.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I think the thing that's kind of been getting me through is, I've been I've shot maybe 4 music videos with Ill Nino over the past two months, and I think that's just kind of like giving me my live feel. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
a couple of them have been concert oriented, or there was one where there was maybe like 60, 70 people on the shoot, helping, and it felt like we were playing a fucking show. So it you got to get it anywhere you can, man. Sometimes you got to revert to singing in the mirror again like you were 16 years old.
Oh man, sometimes I think, like for musicians, playing on stage is like it's an addictive drug.
Absolutely.
And when you don't have it, you go kind of through like this, like fuck, like I don't even know how to describe it, like withdrawal, I guess.
Oh man, perfect example of this was the day that the new album Bled For You came out. So the previous 2 records, the second record, we had a huge homecoming show after a tour. Chuck Billy came out. We did some Testament songs. There was 2,000 people there. The first record, we were actually touring with Testament and Exodus, and we got to play in this awesome city to a sold out crowd. And then you release Bled For You, and me and my fiance literally had a bottle of champagne. We popped it, and I was just kind of walking around all day, just kind of kicking rocks and like not knowing what the hell to do. It was just like, this was not what the fuck it's supposed to be like,
Yeah.
but still, we made the best of it, man, and it was fun.
Awesome. Chris?
I don't have anything else. Do you, Bruce?
No. So Marcos, if people want to get in touch with you guys, I guess the best place is just Shattered Sun.
Yeah, social media, Instagram, Facebook. I think they're still operating our Twitter. I don't know. It's been pretty crazy with all this political stuff going on. But,
yeah.
but yeah, you can get us anywhere. Our music's on every platform that you can think of: Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Or you could be a cool guy and just go out there to your local record store and pick it up too. So,
is there a place where people can order the CD from you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Hammer Forge Records at Big Cartel. I think we always put the link on our Facebook page so you can go find it. We have a bunch of merch up there as well. And then, also the big places, Amazon and, Best Buy, places like that.
And like you said, if people want to get in contact with you as well, that you're pretty active on Facebook, so they can grab a hold of you and chat.
Absolutely. I think I'm pretty proud of this, but I think we have a pretty quick response rate. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Let me see what you're listed at for response rate.
Uh-oh. He's going to call you out right now.
No, I'm going to hit message. Typically replies within an hour. Good for you. There we go.
There we go. Like, I was like, which one of these guys has been operating the Facebook? Oh man!
Hey, before we go, Mark,
I have one other question. Actually,
yeah.
Did you guys print vinyl?
Actually, our record label is currently in the process of making a small order. I think it's like 300 copies of the new record. It's going to be, a blood-soaked record. I know they're going all out on it, so I'm stoked to see it and hopefully have that out for the holidays, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Awesome, my friend. Stay well. Be safe. And thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, man. I hope to talk to you guys soon, all right?
Will do. I'll chat with you online.
Thanks again for trucking during all this, man. We couldn't be alive or around without you.
Hey, man. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that, man. Just trying to do my small part in this world. So, yeah, man. Well, I will talk to you guys soon, okay?
All right, we'll see you later on.
Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Right on.
Thanks.
All right, bye.